There comes a time on the path of awakening when the questions begin to shift. In the beginning, we search outward. We ask where truth can be found, where peace is hiding, where God might be waiting. We turn to temples and churches, to scriptures and philosophies, to the wisdom of teachers who have walked before us. Yet eventually, something inside begins to whisper, what if the very thing I seek has always been here? What if the peace I long for, the freedom I chase, the connection I crave is not far away, but woven into the very fabric of my being? Across the centuries, awakened ones have spoken the same truth in different languages. Jesus said, "The kingdom of God is within you." The Buddha described nirvana as the extinguishing of illusion in the mind. The Sufi mystic spoke of a garden hidden in the heart. The yogis of India called it the Atman, the eternal self. The words differ, but the essence is one. The treasure is not far away. It is here. It is within you. This is not poetry. It is not a beautiful idea to comfort the weary. It is a direct truth. And when you touch it, even for a moment, your life begins to change. The kingdom within is not an abstract concept. It is a living field of presence, intelligence, and power that already exists inside you. It is the dimension where fear dissolves, where love reigns, and where creation flows effortlessly from the invisible into the visible. In this journey, we will not chase a distant heaven. We will uncover the heaven that has always been near. We will walk together into that inner space, exploring what it means to awaken to the kingdom, to live from it, and to create through it. So let us begin. Not by running further, but by turning inward. For what you have been searching for has been waiting for you all along. Chapter 1. Awareness as the doorway. Every path to the kingdom begins with awareness. Awareness is the threshold between the outer world of noise and the inner world of truth. It is the first key, the simple yet profound act of noticing. Notice the breath as it moves in and out of your body. Notice the sensations that ripple across your skin. Notice the thoughts drifting like clouds across the vast sky of your mind. With every act of noticing, you awaken to something extraordinary. You begin to see that you're not the breath, not the sensations, not the thoughts. You are the one who is aware of them. You are the witness, the observing presence, the still point behind all that moves. This realization is universal. It is the same for the yogi in meditation, the monk in prayer, the Sufi in ecstatic dance, the seeker sitting quietly in nature. Awareness is the doorway into the kingdom. When you rest in awareness, even for a few moments, something shifts. The body softens, the restless mind begins to quiet, and beneath it all, a deeper presence starts to emerge. This presence is not empty, it is not void. It carries a quiet power, a subtle aliveness, a sense of being connected to something vast, something whole, something eternal. That presence is the first glimmer of the kingdom within. Most of us pass through life so identified with our thoughts and emotions that we rarely glimpse this kingdom. We mistake the noise of the mind for our true self. We believe we are the story, the labels, the memories, the wounds. Yet when awareness dawns, we discover that we are more than all of these. We are the one who sees them come and go. And this seer, this silent witness, is the entry point to the kingdom. The awakened ones across traditions have pointed here again and again. They knew that until you recognize awareness, you cannot taste the reality that lies beyond thought. Awareness is the clearing where the gate to the kingdom appears. When you enter that clearing, when you abide as awareness, the world begins to look different. Ordinary things shine with new clarity. A tree, a cloud, the sound of rain, the warmth of another hand, each is luminous, alive, connected. In awareness, life reveals itself as sacred, not because the outer world has changed, but because you are now seeing through the eyes of the kingdom within. The more you rest in this awareness, the more you feel drawn inward, for you begin to sense that what appears empty is in fact overflowing, that the silence behind thought is not absence but fullness, that the stillness within you is alive with intelligence. This is why awareness is not the final step, but the first. It is the doorway, not the destination. Once you learn to dwell in awareness, you will begin to feel the stirrings of the kingdom itself, the field of presence, love, and creative power that has been with you all along. Awareness strips away illusion. It reveals the canvas on which life is painted. And in that revelation, the kingdom begins to shine through. Chapter 2. The Inner Kingdom Revealed. What is this kingdom that the awakened one spoke of? It is not a faraway place. It is not hidden in the clouds above or locked behind sacred doors. The kingdom is the living field within you, boundless, luminous, overflowing with potential. In the language of science, it is pure possibility, the quantum field where every outcome already exists. In the language of spirit, it is the divine presence, the eternal ground of being. Here within you, everything exists in seed form. Healing is here, wisdom is here, love, abundance, guidance, peace, all of these currents are already woven into your being. The kingdom is not something you must earn. It is not something that will be given one day if you prove worthy. It has been present since the moment you took your first breath, and even before that when your soul chose this life. Think of sunlight hidden by clouds. The sun does not stop shining because clouds pass overhead. The light is steady, faithful, unchanging. In the same way, the kingdom is always here. When the clouds of fear, doubt, and distraction clear, you see what was there all along. This is why the mystics have always guided seekers inward, because the kingdom is not discovered in the outer world. It is uncovered in the inner silence. When you enter the silence, you begin to feel its qualities. There is a peace that does not depend on circumstances. There is a joy that does not need reasons. There is a love that does not come and go with the approval of others. These qualities are not given to you by the world. They arise from the kingdom itself. And when you touch even a glimpse of this kingdom, your relationship with life begins to shift. You no longer walk as one who is empty, chasing fragments of happiness. You begin to walk as one who knows that fullness is already here. This is the great turning point of awakening, to recognize that nothing outside you can complete you because the source of completion is already within you. When Jesus spoke of the kingdom of God within, he was not speaking of a religion. He was pointing to this living field of divine presence inside each person. When the Buddha spoke of nirvana, he was describing the end of illusion and the discovery of the same inner reality. The mystics, the yogis, the sages, all pointed to the same truth with different words. The kingdom is universal. It belongs to no culture and no creed. It is the inheritance of every soul. And once you glimpse it, life itself becomes a new experience. You begin to notice that the kingdom does not only live in moments of deep meditation or silence. It begins to flow through ordinary life. In a conversation with a friend, in the taste of simple food, In the movement of breath, you sense it shining quietly. The kingdom is not a distant promise. It is a present reality, waiting to be revealed in each moment you turn inward, become still, and remember. Chapter 3: Creative Authority. One of the most extraordinary discoveries of the kingdom is that it is not passive. It is not simply a place of stillness and peace. It is a living field that responds to you. The inner kingdom does not only hold potential, it brings that potential into form through your consciousness. Every awakened teacher has pointed to this. Jesus said, "According to your faith it shall be done." The Buddha taught that with our thoughts we create the world. Neville Goddard described imagination as creation itself. Modern metaphysics tells us that consciousness shapes reality. Different voices, one truth. The inner kingdom responds to the images, the beliefs, and the states of being that you hold within. Think of imagination. It is easy to dismiss imagination as fantasy or daydream. Yet look around you. Every building, every invention, every piece of art or music existed first as an inner picture before it took form in the outer world. The chair you sit on, the phone you hold, the words you now hear, each of them began as an idea, a vision, a possibility in the invisible realm of mind. So it is with your life. The images and feelings you dwell upon are seeds. When planted in the soil of the kingdom, they grow. They gather energy. They begin to shape circumstances and draw experiences that reflect them. This is what faith truly means. Not blind belief, not wishful thinking, but the deep inner knowing that what you hold within is already real in the unseen. Faith is alignment with the creative power of the kingdom. When you enter the kingdom in awareness and plant the seed of a clear vision, held with gratitude and certainty, the outer world eventually conforms. It must, because the outer world is the shadow of the inner state. This is why awareness is so important. If you're unconscious, then fears, doubts, and unresolved patterns shape your reality by default. Without realizing it, you project shadows of fear and lack onto the canvas of your life. But when you awaken, when you remember that the kingdom responds to your inner state, you can choose consciously, you can turn away from fear and plant seeds of love, peace, and abundance. Creation is not reserved for a few. It is the birthright of every soul. The kingdom does not ask whether you are worthy. It simply responds to the vibration you carry. The question is never whether creation works, but whether you are awake to how it works. Consider this. When you imagine something with intensity, your body begins to respond as if it were real. Your heart rate changes, your breathing shifts, your emotions rise. The line between inner and outer is thinner than you think. The kingdom within does not wait for proof in the outer world. It responds to the reality you accept within yourself. This is why practices of visualization, prayer, and meditation are so powerful. They are not empty rituals. They are the shaping of energy in the kingdom. They are rehearsals of creation where the unseen becomes felt and the felt becomes form. And yet, there is no strain here. The kingdom does not respond to desperate effort. It responds to trust. It responds to the calm certainty that what is planted will grow. A farmer does not dig up the seed each day to check if it is working. The farmer plants, waters, and trusts the process. In the same way, you're called to hold your inner vision steadily, not with tension, but with quiet faith. To live in the kingdom is to realize that your consciousness is creative authority. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are not at the mercy of fate. You are a participant in the unfolding of reality. You are a co-creator with the source itself. The more you live from this truth, the more life begins to change. Not because the outer world suddenly bends to your will, but because you are living in alignment with the deeper law of creation. What you hold within with love and certainty, the kingdom reflects back to you. Chapter 4. The frequency of love. What sustains the kingdom, what allows its currents to flow freely, is love. Love here is not sentiment. It is not a passing emotion that comes and goes with circumstances. Love is vibration. It is the highest frequency of alignment with the source of life. When you live in love, your whole being comes into resonance with the harmony of the kingdom. Fear loosens its grip. Conflict begins to dissolve. Separation fades and unity shines through. Love is the current that dissolves resistance. It is the power that restores wholeness where there was fracture. It is the bridge where division has carved distance. When you choose love, you choose alignment with the eternal rhythm of life itself. This is why awakened ones across traditions lifted love above every other teaching. Jesus said, "Love one another as I have loved you." The Buddha spoke of loving kindness, boundless and immeasurable. Sufi mystics sang of divine love as the force that turns the heart toward the beloved. The yogis called it bhakti, the devotion that unites self and source. The words vary, yet the truth is constant. Love is not an accessory to the spiritual path, it is the essence of it. When you hold love as your inner state, the kingdom responds in kind. Opportunities open, synchronicities appear, relationships soften, and even the body heals more easily in the atmosphere of love. Love is not just moral, it is metaphysical. It is the law of resonance written into the very structure of creation. Think of how water reflects the quality of its container. If the vessel is clear, the water shines. If the vessel is clouded, the water is dulled. In the same way, the outer world reflects the inner container of consciousness. When love fills you, life mirrors back clarity, beauty, and flow. Love also transforms the act of creation. Imagination held in fear produces restless outcomes. Imagination held in love carries peace, wholeness, and blessing into form. This is why it matters not only what you envision, but the vibration with which you envision it. To dwell in the kingdom is to return again and again to love. Not because life will always make it easy, but because love is the natural frequency of your being. When anger rises, love can soften it. When grief weighs heavy, love can hold it. When judgment hardens, love can melt it. Love is the great harmonizer. It does not ask for your perfection. It asks only that you return again and again to its current. Every time you choose love over fear, you strengthen your alignment with the kingdom. And in that alignment, life reveals its natural beauty. Not a beauty you must chase, but one that shines effortlessly when you live in harmony with love. Chapter 5. Fear Transcended. Fear is the veil that hides the kingdom. It takes many forms, yet at its root it always whispers the same lie. You are separate. You are powerless. You are incomplete. Fear of lack tells you that you will not have enough, that life is against you. Fear of rejection tells you that you are unworthy of love, that belonging will always be denied. Fear of death tells you that you are fragile, temporary, destined to vanish into nothing. These fears are ancient. They have haunted humanity for centuries. They shape cultures, economies, relationships, and even religions. But none of them speak the truth. When you turn inward, when you step into awareness and glimpse the kingdom, you see fear for what it is, a shadow cast by illusion. The kingdom reveals a deeper reality. You are not separate, you are not powerless, you are not incomplete. You are part of the eternal field of life. Notice how fear operates. It contracts the body, it narrows the breath, it speeds the thoughts. It makes you believe that danger is everywhere, even when nothing is happening in the present moment. Fear thrives on imagination misused, on pictures of disaster projected into the future. Yet imagination can also dissolve fear. When you imagine light surrounding you, when you feel love within you, when you hold the certainty of eternal life, fear loses its grip. It cannot survive in the atmosphere of the kingdom. This is why so many teachings point to courage, trust, and surrender. They are antidotes to fear because they return you to alignment with truth. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the willingness to remember the kingdom in the face of fear. Trust is not blind. It is rooted in the recognition that life itself is for you, not against you. Surrender is not weakness. It is the release of control into the flow of the source that already knows the way. Consider the fear of death. Entire civilizations are built on it. Yet those who have touched the kingdom know that death is not an end. It is a doorway. The body may fall away, but the essence of who you are cannot be destroyed. Life continues in another form, in another rhythm. Knowing this, you no longer cling desperately to the temporary. You live more fully because you are no longer bound by the illusion of endings. When fear dissolves, love flows freely. When fear dissolves, creativity expands. When fear dissolves, you remember that you are eternal presence, temporarily experiencing form. To transcend fear is not to deny it or to pretend it does not exist. It is to see it clearly, to recognize its voice, and to choose not to identify with it. Fear may knock, but you do not have to open the door. Fear may whisper, but you can answer with truth. And the truth is simple. You are life itself. You are connected. You are complete. The kingdom within is a state where fear no longer governs you. You may still feel its stirrings, but you no longer bow to them. You recognize fear as a passing shadow, and you choose to walk in light. Chapter 6. Practices for entering the kingdom. The kingdom is not only a truth to be understood, it is an experience to be lived. It is revealed most clearly when you turn inward and allow simple practices to draw you into its current. These practices are not complicated. They do not require advanced training or long rituals. They are gentle openings that anyone can enter. Let us explore a few ways to experience the kingdom directly. Begin with the practice of heart awareness. Close your eyes and bring your attention to the center of your chest. Place your hand there if it helps you to focus. Breathe slowly and deeply as if light itself is moving in and out with each breath. Stay with this for a few minutes. At first you may feel only the rise and fall of your chest, but with time, a subtle warmth may emerge, a quiet stillness, a sense of being held. This is the doorway to the kingdom. It is not something you imagine, it is something you feel. The more often you rest here, the more natural it becomes to live from this space. Another practice is imaginal creation. Choose one sincere desire of your heart. Close your eyes and picture it already fulfilled. See yourself living in that reality. Feel the emotions you would feel if it was so. Let gratitude rise within you as if it has already come to pass. This is not wishful thinking. It is the language of the kingdom. When you imagine with conviction and gratitude, you align with the field of creation. You are not forcing reality. You are tuning yourself to the version of reality that already exists in potential. You can also enter the kingdom through the current of love. Bring to mind someone you care about. Imagine sending them love with each breath, as if your heart were a radiant sun. Then expand this current beyond one person. Imagine it flowing toward your community, your country, and eventually to all beings everywhere. Love does not divide itself. The more you extend it, the more it grows within you. By practicing this, you align yourself with the highest frequency of the kingdom. There is also the practice of release. Notice a fear or memory that has weighed on you. Do not push it away. Acknowledge it gently. Then with an exhale, imagine placing it into the light within you. Let it dissolve as if a heavy stone has been dropped into a river that carries it away. Feel the lightness that follows. In this way, you are not escaping your pain. You are offering it to the greater field of the kingdom that knows how to transform it. Finally, practice stillness. Take a few minutes each day to sit without agenda. Let the thoughts pass without grasping. Let the body rest. In the quiet, listen not with your ears, but with your whole being. The kingdom speaks in silence, in intuition, in the subtle sense of presence. When you cultivate stillness, you make space for the kingdom to reveal itself again and again. These practices are simple, yet their power is profound. Each one brings you back into alignment with what has always been true. The kingdom is not something you must create. It is something you must remember. Every time you breathe into your heart, every time you imagine with gratitude, every time you extend love, every time you release fear, every time you rest in stillness, you step more fully into the kingdom. Over time, these practices are no longer something you do for a few minutes. They become a way of living. Your heart becomes your home. Your imagination becomes your tool of creation. Your love becomes your natural frequency. Your release becomes your freedom. And your stillness becomes your strength. This is how the kingdom moves from being a teaching to being a reality. It becomes not only something you know about, but something you embody in every breath, in every thought, in every step. Friends, the kingdom is not far. It is not hidden in the stars above or in sacred places made by hands. It has always been here, quietly waiting in the depth of your being. When the world grows loud, return within. When fear rises, return within. When longing aches, return within. Close your eyes, breathe into your heart, and remember. Whisper to yourself, the kingdom is within me. Call it God, call it source, call it presence, call it life itself. The names may differ, but the truth does not change. You are not separate. You are not broken. You are not lacking. You are already whole, already eternal, already one with the field of love that sustains all things. Live from here, and life begins to unfold differently. Not because the outer world suddenly becomes perfect, but because you now walk in the awareness that you are more than the world. You are the light that shines through it. When you create, create from here. When you love, love from here. When you forgive, forgive from here. When you dream, dream from here. And when you rest, rest knowing that the kingdom is never lost. It does not come and go. It cannot be taken from you. It is the eternal ground of your being. Let this truth settle in your heart now. Let it echo through every cell, through every thought, through every breath. The kingdom is within you. It always has been. It always will be. Carry this with you into the world, not as an idea, but as a living reality. And let your very presence remind others of what they too carry inside. The kingdom is within, and it is yours now and always.